Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV. Tonight we had two title matches. We had the start of Big E's solo run. We had a backstage brawl that ended with some hairy consequences, and Little Miss Bliss gets herself a mouthful of hurt. All on an episode of Smackdown tonight, which didn't suck down as hard as it usually does, but there was still plenty wrong with this show, which is what we are here to talk about, and we are going to do that right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare. You are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's Friday Night Smackdown review and reaction show. Let's do it.
The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Don't forget, right now, available at the Teespring store, the official Sledgehammer Wrestling Show mask. Protect yourself and others by wearing a mask, even though I know you don't want to, and if you're gonna do it in style and supporting your new favorite wrestling show, and that's us right here. Look at these beautiful designed masks, available in 3 fantastic colors. Protect yourself from inhaling other people's bad breath. Protect yourself from the lingering virus. Protect yourself from fart smells in the office. Protect yourself from everything that you can ingest in your nose and mouth by getting the official Sledgehammer Wrestling Show mask. Available now at the teespring.com store, teespring.com/stores/sledgehammer-tv. Other stuff is available there as well. If you don't want to wear a mask, there's t-shirts, there's stickers, there's stuff there. Go check it out. Get something if you can to support the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show right here on Sledgehammer TV. Man, I bet Alexa Bliss wishes she was wearing a Sledgehammer Wrestling Show mask last night at SmackDown. What a bad night for the Little Miss Bliss. She had to watch her best friend lose again to Bayley in a shot at the SmackDown Women's Championship. She then, I guess, lost her best friend as Nikki Cross kind of turned on Alexa Bliss in a way, shoving her to the ground after she was pissed off for losing. And then, to top it all off, she gets attacked by the Fiend. We are going to talk more about that later, but you color me intrigued. Color me intrigued. But I'm not a fool. That's why you guys come to me for this information, because I tell you how it is. And if you truly believe the WWE is going to do this storyline good, you got another thing coming. They are going to find a way to mess this up. It definitely has potential to be great. And judging from some of the feedback I got on the poll I put up earlier this morning for you guys to take, a lot of you guys think it's really cool, and a lot of you guys think it's going to be exciting. Some of you guys didn't care, and most of you guys know what I know, that there's no way they're going to be able to sustain our interest in this storyline, because they're going to start making it go all wonky and all crazy, and I don't know if I could really get into it. And the way that I could prove that to you is just by looking at what they've done with Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt so far. SmackDown tonight opened up with a promo from Bray Wyatt, live from the Firefly Funhouse, where he told everybody what we all already know, which is that the Fiend is awake, and now nobody is safe. And I guess that was trying to prepare us mentally for the fact that he was going to attack a woman at the end of the show. But the one key thing to note is that Bray Wyatt keeps talking about how Braun Strowman is still stuck in the swamp, and I don't understand how that works, because if you as a company are telling me that the Wyatt Swamp fight took place inside the mind of Bray Wyatt, what we saw was Bray's vision, right? We were treated to a glimpse inside the mind of the madman, and we watched this swamp fight. So doesn't that mean that it didn't really happen because it happened in the head of a human being? Like, it was a vision. They were showing us his dreams. So where the fuck is Braun Strowman? Where is he? Is he stuck in Bray Wyatt's head? Where has he been? Is there a physical, actual swamp that Braun brought him to that he's stuck in? Because he's just saying he's stuck in the swamp, but the swamp is in Bray Wyatt's head. So where is Braun? I don't get it. And it's that kind of weird wonkiness that they put in the Fiend matches, just like they brought back the red light that we all hate when he comes around. And I don't understand where it's going. Where'd Braun go? It's weird. It's weird. So I don't think they're going to sustain a good story with the Alexa Bliss involvement with Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. While it does show that they're trying to make certain things make sense, because Alexa Bliss showing up in the swamp fight herself was kind of weird and out of place, but we all are privy to their relationship on the Mixed Match Challenge. But there was never anything romantic, I thought, but apparently there is, and they're going to try to go on that. And I don't really get it. I don't get it. But I'm intrigued. I want to see where it goes. And ending the show that way tonight definitely, for the first time in some time, made me very much anticipate next week's show. What the hell are they going to do with this? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. What we don't have to wait and see is AJ Styles is still the Intercontinental Champion. That might have been a shitty segue, but hey, I'm trying. AJ Styles versus Gran Metalik was a great match for the Intercontinental Championship. Michael Cole wanted to call it the working man's title, and that's exactly what it is. It hasn't been for quite some time, but around the waist of AJ Styles, I could take that. The one thing I took away from this match that really upset me is not just the fact that this match shouldn't be happening at all, because Gran Metalik was a tag team guy, part of a jobber tag team for the last few years, who've not done anything to deserve even the opportunity to get an opportunity at the Intercontinental Championship. It didn't make sense. Out of all the guys in the Fatal 4-Way that could have been in this match, Gran Metalik or the other one should not have been one of the choices, but they were. And I'm kind of glad, because we got to see Gran Metalik, but when you watch him and you see how good he is, this match was that good that it showed you that Gran Metalik is not a jobber, that he is a great performer. And he went in there with one of the best in the business, the best of his current generation, most likely, and threw down and had a great match. So why have they not been using Gran Metalik? Why have they stuck him in this tag team to go nowhere when this guy can go out there and give you a match like this? It makes you see how stupid they are. It's like, if this guy can go like this, why is he on this tag team? Where has he been, and why is he not wrestling? Because they don't know what to do with people that actually wrestle. They only want the good-looking ones and the ones that bow down to the wishes of Vince McMahon. Why not actually push him? Or at least coming off of this, actually push him, but they didn't even do that. They made it a point to bury Gran Metalik in a way before this episode would even end. And we'll get to that as we come to it. Another thing that that makes me crazy and I don't understand is what they're doing with Jeff Hardy. Okay, so Jeff Hardy has this match in the bar with Sheamus. He's victorious. So tonight he's going to celebrate. He's going to talk about how he's a great husband and how he is an alcoholic, but he's trying to be a better man. And the match with Sheamus is over and he feels all good. Jeff Hardy's good. It's giving everybody the feels, right? And then Baron Corbin comes out. And when Baron Corbin comes out and starts talking, all I want to say...
For Christ's sake, will you just shut your trap? Shut up!
Shut up! Oh my God, and it made it even worse. It made it even worse that he only said the same shit that we have seen Baron Corbin, Sheamus rather, say over and over and over again. It's like they gave him Sheamus' script, and I don't understand why they can't come up with something different, something original. Baron Corbin coming out there telling Jeff Hardy that he's still a drunk just like everybody else, but he's, just added the fact that he's the king to the same promo we've been hearing over and over again. He doesn't want to hear Jeff Hardy anymore. Well, we don't want to hear you anymore, bro. And I don't think that the sound was on in the clip that I just played, so I'm going to play it again, because all I want Baron Corbin to do...
For Christ's sake, will you just shut your trap? Shut up!
And even if it did play before, it's worth saying it again, because I hate this guy. I hate this guy. Baron Corbin comes on, my TV goes off, and yes, I did literally shut it off, and I only turned the match back on in time to see Matt Riddle come out. All of a sudden, Matt Riddle's in the ring. I don't know why he showed up. I don't know why he's out there, because I turned it off because it's not worth watching. And then Chad Gable comes out. Chad Gable, who has been in a feud with Baron Corbin since his days at NXT. Baron Corbin has done nothing but mock and ridicule and just get at Chad Gable for being a short guy. And he's not even really that short. He's about the same size as guys like AJ and Grand Metalik. There's a lot of guys around that size range. And it takes one conversation, one little discussion in the back. Baron Corbin confronted Chad Gable earlier in the evening and was like, hey, why don't you collect the king's bounty? And at least he called him Chad. But that's the only thing that can come out of this. You're putting Chad Gable with Baron Corbin, and it's going to be awful. Unless the only one good thing that can come out of it is they change the Shorty G gimmick back to the badass wrestler that Chad Gable is. He could pull off a heel, I'm sure. I just feel like this sudden pairing is random. It's very random, and it doesn't make much sense. Why would a guy like Chad Gable, who can wrestle on his own merit, team up with a guy that's done nothing but treat him like shit for the last month, without, or more than that even, without us seeing that develop? Imagine you hated somebody with all of your whole existence, with all of your being. And then that person comes up and is like, hey, why don't you join me now? What are you going to do with that one conversation? You're going to tell him to go fuck yourself. How about that? You know, and then he can keep persisting and come at you, and then maybe he wears you down, and eventually you take him at his word, and you join up with him. But it doesn't happen after one confrontation in the back. So stupid and so wrong. Just like what we seen in the match for Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin goes out there, he has a match with Drew Gulak. Obviously Drew Gulak lost. I missed it. I didn't care. But why? Why? What does that have to do with anything? Why are you burying guys like Drew Gulak to pieces of turds like the Constable King dickhead Baron Corbin? You got nothing better for these guys to do than to put this jerk-off over, because he's never going to be over. Especially with me. Maybe you like him. I don't. And it ruins my experience on the show. You know what else ruins my experience watching this show? Seeing how they started Big E's solo run. Now, I've been waiting for Big E to break away from the New Day. They're not breaking him away from the New Day, which is fine, but they're giving him a singles run because his partners are injured. And the first match out of the gate to establish that Big E is going to be a force in the singles rankings, he's placed against a member of a tag team, The Miz. The Miz is Big E's first opponent. You couldn't think of anything better? And then to make it even worse, we watched The Miz actually get the better of Big E in parts of this match. Why are we suddenly protecting The Miz? Is this not the same Miz that just lost in like 5 seconds to Braun Strowman? You want me to believe Big E's not as strong or as powerful as the Universal Champion? How is he going to have a chance against Braun Strowman if he can't even beat The Miz in the same amount of time that Braun Strowman could beat The Miz? They made him look like a fool by having him have to give up so much offense to The Miz. It was just something I was not comfortable seeing. The match went on way too long. Not just because it was against The Miz, but he should have been out there 5 minutes, kill some guy, show everybody that Big E is serious without having to make him look like a jackass, putting over a guy that's not even wrestling in the singles anymore. He's in a bullshit comedy tag team with John Morrison that Big E has been fighting already for the last couple of months anyway. So what's new and what's exciting about it? Not really anything, except for the fact that Big E got the win. And it also looked like at times they weren't going to make him win. I was afraid when John Morrison kicked him in the face that The Miz was going to actually get this win. He was going to get the victory through cheating, which was going to establish some stupid WWE storyline. But thankfully, the only good thing coming out of this is Big E got the win. He looked great at the end of the match. He was all fired up. He's real confident in himself. He's telling everybody that he's coming, and I'm believing it. I'm believing it. I'm firmly standing behind Big E, and I hope this goes well. But from the way it started off, this was definitely stepping with the wrong foot, because that was not the way to showcase Big E as a major talent, because The Miz is not. He's not. The Miz is upper to mid-carder at best now. Sure, he was a world champion 10 years ago. But now, he's just go away type stuff. Especially since they put him with Morrison. And if you are one of the people that have downloaded or listened to the Hey Hey Ho Ho Morrison and Miz bullshit song and downloaded it on Spotify, making it one of the #1 singles on the platform, you need to get serious mental help. Unless you're planning on using it by putting it on loop to torture somebody that you hate very much, I don't know why you would even download that ridiculous song. I just had to get that off my chest, because there was a lot of ridiculousness on a show that featured a lot of good wrestling, just like what they did with Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. They're celebrating their championship win. They're tag team champions of a division that does not exist, a division that doesn't have anybody. Nobody is left in the tag team division but The Miz and Morrison, who are heels, and they're not going to put them against. The New Day is gone. They are the resident good guys of the tag team division. And who else is there? The Lucha House Party. So they come into the scene because they're the only tag team left. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, you guys are back there wanting to party. Grand Metalik is ready to party. He just lost an Intercontinental Championship matchup 20 minutes ago. And now he's in the back, ready to party with Shinsuke and Cesaro? Who writes this shit? I can't deal with it. It's absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. You didn't care at all that you lost. You're not sitting in the back all bummed out. Oh, man, I may never get a shot again because I'm Grand Metalik and I was lucky to get this shot. You know, you're not depressed. No, you're ready to party. Losers don't get to party. This show is fucking ridiculous. The ridiculousness continues with the Sheamus promo. Sheamus shows up looking like some 1940s bar fighter. I don't know what the getup is about. Why are you dressing up like a newsie? You're supposed to be an Irish warrior. Coming out with your little suspenders. Do me a favor, make me a Manhattan. Make me a nice cold Manhattan from behind the bar, Mr. Sheamus. What a ridiculous getup. And then they have this guy come out there and make excuses. Oh, well, I lost. Yeah, I'm a loser, but, you know, I lost because we were in Jeff Hardy's natural habitat. And then he goes back into taking shots at Jeff Hardy for being a drunk. Didn't you finish this? And then he finishes the whole promo by saying, well, he's not my problem anymore. And now everybody on SmackDown's got to watch out. What do they got to watch out for? You just lost to Jeff Hardy. You are not going to be taken seriously in that getup. Nobody's going to be afraid of you in your tight white t-shirt and your stupid 1900 suspenders. Who writes this stuff? The wrestling on this show, for the most part, was very, very good. But all of these entertainment segments just suck to high hell. And they are filled with logic gaps and stupidity. And I just can't take it. I can't take it. Just like I can't take the WWE giving us a big middle finger. What are you talking about, Nick? Well, they told you to go fuck yourself. They told you it last week, and they're telling you that today, and they're doing it by using bam, bam. I'm gonna tell you to go fuck yourself because you can fuck your hashtag boom, boom. The WWE has the balls to continuously mock, make fun of, and criticize the hashtag Naomi deserves better. Now, whether you believe that or not, this is the voice of the fans. This is what the fans... She didn't start this hashtag for herself. These were her fans speaking up. And you're going to spit in their face by saying things like hashtags don't mean shit. By saying things like maybe Lacey Evans deserves better. We're going to start a hashtag for her. You got Lacey Evans sitting out there crying and whining and really making fun of Naomi and her hashtag. Why would you do that? Especially now in the current political climate. Why would you do that? It's not like Kofi Mania or anything like that. It wasn't a huge movement, but there is a section of fans that are showing love and support for one of your wrestlers, and you are spitting in their face by telling them to take your message and shove it up your ass because we don't care about hashtags. But you cared about hashtags for the Divas Revolution. You cared about the hashtags for Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston, but her hashtag doesn't mean shit? You're going to walk and step all over it? Have Lacey Evans come and take a giant cat piss on it? Unacceptable. But much like I said with Big E, at least Naomi won this match. But this was the one match on the night where the wrestling was not good. I am a firm supporter of Naomi. I feel the glow all the time. I believe Naomi deserves better. I do. But tonight you watched this matchup, and it was sloppy. It was clumsy. It shows you that Lacey Evans doesn't belong there because she could not do anything. She botched so many spots that would not have been botched by anybody else. But at least she won, right? So is that their saving? We're going to talk shit about you. We're going to make you look like a fool, but you're going to win. But you're going to win. So at least you got that. Feel the glow. Awful. Disrespectful to the fans and nonsensical to go that route. You want to talk about another route they shouldn't have gone down? They should not have gone down the route of having Mandy Rose get her hair cut tonight. Now hear me out. I know this was a great segment. And I love what they're doing with Sonya Deville. Mandy Rose and Otis were supposed to have a date tonight. For some reason, they showed up at Smackdown to get ready. And Mandy Rose is in the back, the little makeup mirror, and she gets her ass beat by Sonya Deville, which is great. I loved every moment of it until the hair cutting spot. And I'll tell you why. I'm not mad that she cut the broad's hair. I'm not. I'm mad about the way it went down. Because she didn't seem to care. Mandy Rose was very easily positioned to be able to escape. She was not unconscious. She was not knocked out. She was able to fight. She was on her stomach. She should have been able to wriggle away before Sonya Deville tried to cut her. And she didn't even try to stop her. She literally just laid there, made a few little struggle moves, and then got her head chopped off. Now here's my problem, because this storyline is Wrestling 101. Any idiot can do it. Here's what's supposed to happen. A, guy or girl gets knocked the fuck out. B, the person that did the knocking out then cuts that person's hair. C, that person then wakes up, looks in the mirror, sees their hair gone, or chopped up or damaged, and freak out, man. And then we're off to the races. This segment proves that the WWE producers suck at producing. Because you didn't have this girl get knocked out. That is the basis of it. That's how it goes down. You don't just lay there and take somebody cutting your hair. She gave her plenty of space. She easily could have gotten up. So instead of making Mandy Rose look like an idiot who doesn't care that she's about to get her hair chopped off, you should have had her completely knocked unconscious. That's how it's done. It's supposed to be that easy. Oh, you're nitpicking. No, I'm not. If you were on the floor face down and somebody had you by your hair like this, are you just going to lay there? Sure, they could have punched you a couple of times, but she was not unconscious. She was moving. She was breathing. She was there. She should have struggled out of that. But she didn't. Not because of her own fault, but because they don't know how to write segments. And you can't tell me I'm wrong there. I might be the only person saying anything negative about this particular situation, but that's what I see. This is basic wrestling stuff. The idea was great, the execution was flawed. But the only thing I liked more than anything was the attitude of Sonya Deville. The character that they got her playing right now. She's angry at Mandy for getting everything given to her because she's beautiful, and Sonya is going to make her ugly, and there's nothing Mandy can do about it. She was mashing lipstick all over her face. She was smacking her around, but she didn't knock her out. So she shouldn't have got her hair cut tonight. because they wrote it wrong. That's my biggest complaint about the whole thing. They suck at producing entertainment segments, which is why I want them to go back to just doing more wrestling. Because your entertainment part of your company sucks. The wrestling part can be great at times, which is what keeps us coming back, waiting for the turnaround, if it ever comes. At this point, it feels like it won't. And then we had the main event, the girls in the main event. And this might be a little controversial, but we've had so many women's main events over the last couple of years since the Revolution. Is it even special anymore? No, it's not. But the match between Bayley and Nikki was special in the way that it didn't suck. It didn't suck. It was probably the match between them I enjoyed the most after all of the matches we've had to watch up until then. Nobody got involved in the finish. There was a little miscommunication between Sasha. She got caught trying to use the knucks once again. The legit boss rings were thrown to Bayley, but they were unsuccessful this time. Nikki Cross came to fight. The girls had a great match, but it wasn't about them at the end of the day. Nikki Cross, after losing, took it out on Alexa Bliss, like we talked about at the start of the show, pushed her biscuit buns down into the mat, and left her laying there for the Fiend, who choked her out with the mandible claw while screaming for Braun Strowman, who is apparently in the Fiend's head right now, swimming in a bloody swamp. But we don't know. We don't know that for sure. The one thing about this that I don't want to happen is I don't want Alexa Bliss to become part of the Firefly Funhouse. I don't want her to take the mantle of Sister Abigail. I don't want her to be involved with the Fiend on his side of things. I think with the way they ended everything last night, it would be much more interesting if while Braun continues to taunt Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross ends up aligning with the Fiend, because she's a much better heel. She's got that psychotic little twist to her. She's got a creepy smile, and she's a sexy girl. She looks good, but she can pull off the evil that is needed to be beside the Fiend or Bray Wyatt. Alexa Bliss is just a little bit too sugary when you look at her. It doesn't really fit. And if they're going to do the Fiend and Nikki Cross versus Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss, that might get a little interesting. It might. But I think I'm giving them too much credit here. I don't want Alexa Bliss to be Sister Abigail. I wouldn't mind if Nikki Cross did it. But what is the real reason for the involvement of the women? Bray Wyatt is trying to get inside the head of Braun Strowman, who is right now stuck inside the head of Bray Wyatt. And when I say stuff like that is what makes my head hurt and makes me say that SmackDown still has its suck down, shitty, everything wrong with it moments, even though the possibility of something good could come of it. The story of the WWE is bad ideas, bad execution in entertainment, and semi-good wrestling, depending on who is in the ring. And that's all I got for you guys. I want to know what you guys thought about what went down with The Fiend and Alexa Bliss. I want to know what you guys think about Big E's solo push. What did you guys think about that haircut spot? What did you think about The Miz and Morrison sitting back there making jokes about Mandy Rose like she had her head fully shaved? Because she didn't, but they were making bald jokes and ridiculous 5-year-old hair jokes when all she did was cut off one piece of hair. It was like I was watching Brandy Rhodes and the Nightmare Collective again, going around collecting pieces of hair. Holy shit. Get at me in the comments down below. If you enjoyed today's episode, if you agreed with anything I had to say, now would be the time to hit the thumbs up if you haven't done so already. And don't forget to subscribe to Sledgehammer TV, where we bring the hammer down on WWE programming and tell you guys everything wrong with all of WWE's bullshit shows. No, I am not doing AEW right now. We started doing AEW, but I'm not going back to AEW reviews until there are fans in the crowd, because let me tell you something, it's not worth fighting the AEW fans right now. I do not like AEW. You might think I'm crazy, but I don't. I feel like it's just another version of WCW. I don't like the style of wrestling for the most part, and just like WWE, they have a ton of talent that they should be using that they're not using, and are putting all the focus on the WWE guys, and it's becoming a WWE graveyard to me. So it's not appealing just yet. I'm waiting for things to get back to normal, and then maybe we will do some AEW again to address those of you who keep asking me if and when we're going to be doing it again. That's when. When the fans can go back to AEW, I will go back to AEW. Because right now, it's just not worth my time. And it's not worth the aggravation of all the AEW heads coming down on me because I'm the only person in this community that's actually honest about AEW and tells you my feelings genuinely. But I get a backlash from that I'm just not mentally equipped to deal with right now with everything going on in the world. I'm angry enough as it is. I don't need to be made any angrier. Thank you all so much for joining me. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is the team, Thor the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. His tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue the Snowball, and most importantly, the biggest member of the team, each and every one of you. If you guys missed anything this week, the Raw review, the review of the last pay-per-view, everything will be left in the annotations up above. My drawing of The Undertaker is still live, and more recently, I took a shot at Little Miss Bliss. Strangely enough, she would be the hot topic of the weekend, and I drew a picture of her for you guys just a few days ago. So if you missed that, check out my drawing of Alexa Bliss. And that, my friends, is going to do it. We're out of here. We will see you next time right here on your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV, right here on YouTube.com.
The Sledgehammer.